Hey guys, it's Coach Josh here at P4S Golf, where we drive golf performance. So today's topic is about the best exercises, simple exercises for any golfers over the age of 50 to do. People ask me all the time, Josh, like, what are the best exercises for golfers? Everybody is different, but what we have found from researching thousands and thousands of golfers is that there are 4 key areas where golfers need to be able to move and rotate. You need to be able to rotate around your neck, your shoulders, your spine, or your mid-back to rotate your trunk, and you need to be able to rotate around your hips. So if you cannot rotate in all 4 of those rotary centers well, your body and your golf swing are gonna start to compensate. That may manifest itself in terms of swing faults, overusing the lower back, all kinds of things. And these problems only increase as we age. So if I was to give a golfer like 3 or 4 exercises to do, I would probably focus on the shoulders, spine, and hips, not necessarily in that order. You need to actually find out where you're most restricted. So if you want to find out, click on the free home mobility assessment in the link in the description, and that'll give you a link to our home mobility test, and you can find out for yourself where you need to improve the most. But I would say out of the 3 or the 4 tests, it's usually hips, spine, shoulders. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna show you the simple and easy exercises that you can do at home to help improve your rotary centers. So for the hips, it's really important for us to be able to rotate around the hip sockets, especially internal rotation of the hips. Lead hip for a right-handed golfer. If you cannot rotate well around your lead hip, it's the #1 predictor of low back pain in golfers. So really important that you are able to rotate around that lead hip. I'm in what we call a 90-90 position. So you may have heard about this before. It's a really easy position, can be an easy position to get into, but we can do lots of variations to improve hip mobility from here. One thing to do when we're getting in this position is just assess like how easily you can get in and out of this position. All right, so I've got this knee is straight out from the hip. This knee is straight out from my hip. And then I've got 90 degrees, so I've got a 90-degree angle here between my thighs, and I've got 90 degrees at the knees. So this shin is parallel to this thigh, and this shin is parallel to this thigh. So we want that set up, and I also want you to pay attention to how upright you're able to keep your trunk in this position. So the more inflexible you are, you're probably gonna find yourself leaning out to the side. If I asked you to lift your hand up off the floor, you might be kind of falling over onto your elbow. All right, so it's okay if you're leaning over to the side a bit, but as you improve, we're gonna try and work your body more upright so that your trunk is right over top of your pelvis, and try and keep the spine as tall as you can, because if I start to round from my lower back, that's my lower back compensating for a lack of movement in my hips. So try and push through the arms to keep the spine nice and tall here, so that we're moving from the hips and not the lower back. Okay, so I keep my spine tall. All I want you to do once you're in your setup position is push this shin down into the ground, hold it there, and then I want you to float your chest forward as much as you can. We're not going down, we're going forward with the chest till you feel a stretch in this lead hip. And you can hold back and you can rock back and forth into that, but hold that stretch position. And now we're gonna take this other arm and sweep it back. And then I'm gonna reach back and try and get this hand behind me. So I'm gonna basically rotate my trunk into this lead leg, all right? From here, so I'm internally rotating into this trail hip. That's like the backswing. And then I can go reach around here and then reach back. Open up the trunk into that trail hip. So we're gonna do this, you can do this on both sides, obviously. And if your lead hip is tighter, make sure you stress rotating into that trail hip. Another exercise you can do from the 90-90 is to actually lean forward. Again, keep that trunk tall. Rotate this back hip or trail hip down into the ground. So this is internal rotation of the hip. Again, I'm not just trying to pick the foot up or kick the foot back, but roll your thigh down into the ground. You may not really even be able to get the foot off the floor that much if your hip is really tight. Again, if you're cramping up here, you may have to come down here in order to get this foot off the floor initially. But once you're a little more advanced and you get more mobility, we can rotate that hip a little bit more, okay? So there's your 90-90 hip progressions. The next area we want to look at is the T-spine, the trunk. You want to be able to rotate that trunk. That's what's going to allow you to make a big shoulder turn in your golf swing, get width and get distance. Okay, we're going to do a simple book opener exercise here. You've probably done these before, but main keys are to make sure that the knee is straight up from the hip. We got that in place, and I'm locking this in place with my bottom arm. So this knee never moves off the roller. Most common mistake I see golfers make is this. As soon as we start to rotate, this knee lifts off. When that happens, I'm rolling my pelvis open along with my spine, so I'm not getting that separation. This is why we're doing this exercise. We're doing it to try and stabilize this part of the pelvis. We're not moving from the lower back. If you want a pillow underneath your head, that's fine. I like putting the hand on the forehead because it takes my arm out of it. I'm not trying to reach to the floor with my hand. I'm trying to get my shoulder blade on this side as close to the floor as I can. I'm looking over my shoulder. So you can see I'm keeping this still. Big breath in. Bring the shoulder down and then come back and forth, keeping the lower body still. If your knee starts to lift off, you've gone too far. Only rotate as far as you can without the knee moving. Take a big breath and rotate, trying to get that shoulder blade as close to the floor as you can. You're gonna do about 8 to 10 of those on each side. That's your book opener exercise. Last exercise for the shoulders. You're gonna take a golf club here. I'm gonna stand up. And we're gonna get a little bit of assistance into external rotation. So this is what we need, external rotation, so you can shallow the club, drop it in the slot. We need a little external rotation. My elbow is bent 90 degrees. It's directly in front of my shoulder. I'm gonna take my bottom hand here, gently pull it towards the midline of my body, so I'm externally rotating the shoulder that way. From here, once I feel just a little bit of a stretch, I'm gonna press my top hand gently into the top of the club, hold that contraction for a few seconds, and then I'm gonna relax and move out. Then I'm gonna press, hold, and relax. Then I'm gonna press again. So I'm doing a little contraction, and then I'm relaxing, press and contract. So with each contract and relax, you can see I'm getting a little further into my external rotation. So that's gonna free up the shoulder. And then after doing that about 7 to 8 times on both sides, we can take a mini band, put it around the wrists, okay? And from here, we can work on that external rotation. So from here, I can keep my elbows close to the sides, and all I'm gonna do is stand nice and tall. Without the elbows coming away, I'm gonna try and bring my hands out to the sides, here, like so, okay? I'm trying to bring my wrists wide and keep the elbows close. So there, my upper arms are rolling and biceps are rolling away from the sides. Okay, hold it at the end range, and we're doing that by squeezing these muscles back here. So I'm squeezing the shoulders this way. You can also do it, more advanced version is to do it this way. So I'm trying to turn my elbows in and get my wrists out. Now I really feel that in the shoulders. There we're getting the external rotation, so it's also important to strengthen those external rotators. So you can do it here or down here, and I really feel that in the shoulders. That's gonna help you get that external range of motion and drop the club in the slot. So those are my big 3 exercises for golfers over the age of 50. We need to be able to rotate well around the hips, T-spine, and shoulders. If you do just those 3 exercises every day, you're gonna notice a massive difference in how your body feels while you play, and after you play, you're gonna be a lot less stiff and sore. Hope you found these exercises helpful. Like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.